Next. The faithful wise men brought gifts to the sleeping Christ. Okay? The faithful, F's, faithful. This is faith. Faith, sometimes you start faith with you touch your forehead and go into the F. Faith, faithful, wise men, wise, just an X, straight down, wise. Think, smart, wise. Think, smart, wise. Understand, wise. Understand and wise. Kind of the opposite. You understand and then you become wise. So the faithful wise men, or you can start with boy, men, brought gifts, same as bring, brought gifts, X hands. Just start up and like you're giving it to somebody, but with X's. Gifts, to the sleeping, and close your eyes as you go down to show sleeping Christ. C like royalty, like this royal sash. Christ. Okay, let's do this sentence. The faithful, wise men brought gifts to the sleeping Christ. Okay, next. Jesus is Immanuel, Counselor, and everlasting Father. Jesus is Immanuel. Immanuel means what? God with us, right? So Immanuel would be God with us. So Immanuel, God with us. Jesus is Immanuel. So there's 3 signs for the one word Immanuel. God with us means Immanuel. Okay, let's say that again so far, beginning of the sentence. Jesus is Immanuel. Jesus is God with us. Counselor. Kind of like I said a while ago about spread, counselor. Send or sent, counselor, spread. The idea is this person is sending and staying here. Counselor has the information and is spreading. It's just going out, but he's still staying here. Counselor. So he's got the information and it's spreading out. Counselor. Advisor. So counselor. This is counsel, and then put the person on it. Counselor. He's got the information. He's got the good news. Spreading out person. Counselor. The everlasting Father. The everlasting, eternal. Always, forever. Remember, start with a little bit of the always. Always is around. Forever. Everlasting. everlasting Father. Father. A couple ways to do this. Remember, this is, back up a little. This is Father. And for God the Father, you could do two hands to show more dedication and more reverence. Father, Father, Father. Like Father. Double Father. Okay, let's do that sentence again. Jesus is Immanuel, Counselor, the everlasting Father. Jesus is Immanuel, God with us. Counselor, advisor, Counselor, the everlasting Father. Let's do that again. Jesus is Immanuel, Counselor, everlasting Father. Next sentence. Jesus ministered in Judea, but was rejected. Jesus ministered, work, remember? Ministry, ministered, or a person who is a minister person, or preacher, minister, like the man, or this is the verb, am like work, ministered, past tense, or present, minister. So Jesus ministered in Judea. Judea was the land of the Jews, right? So the sign is Jewish land. Jewish land. Judah. Judah, I think I said Judea, but Judah, Jewish land, but was rejected, rejected. I'm going to hold my hand up. You don't do it this way, but you just kind of put it in the middle and push it out. Rejected. It's like you're pushing it out. We don't want you. Rejected. Hope you can see that. So again, Jesus ministered in Judah. You could spell it, but the sign, again, and you could spell it if you're going to have a service or in church that he's going to repeat this word a lot. You could at first spell it, Judah, and then point to it with the other finger and sign it, Jewish land. And then every time you interpret the word Judah again, you can just do, again, Jewish land. And they know that's Judah. Okay, let's start again. Start again with this sentence. Jesus ministered in Judah, but was rejected. Jesus ministered in Judah, but was rejected. Last sentence. The risen Christ shall descend with power, the second time to begin the millennium. The risen. It's like this is his body, his legs was lying dead in the tomb. Risen. He came up. He came up and stood up. Risen. Now, while we're talking about this is not the sentence, but resurrection, very similar. He was in the tomb, he arose, and he ascended. This is ascend, this is rose. So resurrection, he rose from a grave and ascended into heaven. Resurrection. Resurrection. But this word in this sentence is risen. Risen. He was in the grave and he stood up. Risen from death. The risen Christ shall, or will, shall descend or come down. Come down. So this is come, but we're going to, because he is already resurrected, or he is risen into heaven after he died. You know, he died and was buried, but then he rose again and ascended into heaven. So the sentence is talking about the risen Christ shall descend. So he's up there. So we're going to start in heaven to come down. Will descend. He will come down to the ground. Descend. Come down to the ground. Descend. With the power. 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 All I'm doing is kind of like health and wealth, but power with strength. Power. Power. Now, I've also seen power designated by your muscle. You know, your muscle is strong, but with a P. Power. Power. But in this context, Christ is going to come down with power. So I would do power. Power. The second, not the first, but the second time to begin the millennium. To begin the millennium. Now the millennium is how long? 1,000 years, right? Millennium means 1,000 years. So millennium is 1,000, so that'd be M, 1,000 years. Or you could just do this instead of the M. 1,000 years. Okay? Last sentence all together. The risen Christ shall descend with power the second time to begin the millennium. And that's the end of lesson 28.